Bonjour and welcome to our podcast. In this podcast, you should be able to identify the present tense conjugation of les verbes réfléchis, reflexive verbs. Reflexive verbs are used to express what a person does to or for him or herself. The doer of the action is also the receiver of the action. A reflexive verb has two parts: a reflexive pronoun, me, te, ce, nous, vous, et ce, and a verb form. Let's look at the following. Se laver, which means to wash oneself, consists of the two parts, the reflexive pronoun and the verb form as the infinitive. When conjugating verbs in the present tense, the subject pronoun must match up with the reflexive pronoun. The corresponding reflexive pronouns are me, te, ce, nous, vous, and ce. When conjugating verbs, it's just as a typical present tense conjugation. Here we have an ER verb, so you chop off the ER and conjugate it in the present tense as you normally would, adding the E, ES, E, ONS, EZ, and ENT to the stem LAV. Just note, if the verb begins with a vowel or an H, the me, te, and ce become M apostrophe, T apostrophe, and S apostrophe. For example, if lave was abi, H-A-B-I-L-L-E, it would not be M-E, it would be M apostrophe. In order to identify a reflexive infinitive, it's pretty easy to tell. If you look at the beginning of them, you'll be able to see the reflexive pronoun. If you look at the following verbs here, you have se laver, and you also have laver. The difference between se laver and laver is that one is a reflexive verb and one is not. This first one here is the reflexive. This is not. In this case, one would be washing oneself, whereas in this case, one would be washing something else, such as a car. One more example would be se regarder and regarder. Se regarder means to look at oneself, and regarder means to look at or to watch. In this context, in the first one here, you would be looking at yourself, such as in a mirror. That action would be reflexive. In this action, one watching or looking at TV, the action is not reflexive. Let's look at some common reflexive verbs and their meanings. S'habiller, to get oneself dressed. Se déshabiller, to get oneself undressed. Se réveiller, to wake up. Se lever, to get oneself up. Se promener, to go for a walk. Se reposer, to rest oneself. Se coucher, to go to bed. Se raser, to shave oneself. Se maquiller, to put on makeup. Se peigner, to comb oneself. Se laver, to wash oneself. Se brosser, to brush one's hair, teeth, les cheveux, les dents. Se regarder, to look at oneself. S'ennuyer, to get bored. S'amuser, to have fun. Can you describe what this person is doing? Il se rase. Let's take a look at an exit ticket here. Pause your podcast right now and attempt to try these on your own. When you've finished, you can look at your answers. Je me lave. Nous nous regardons. Tu ne te laves pas les mains. Elle s'habille. Il se lève.